There we go. You can turn off your video feed if you don't want to have your image appear on a recording, which will be posted later on, probably on YouTube. If you can please keep yourself muted unless specifically invited to unmute, that will help us all to hear better and make a better experience for us all. And if you can open up your chat bar, there will be a moment later on in the evening where we invite people at home to participate by typing things into the chat. And in case you don't know where that is, down on the lower bar or perhaps on your computer, it might be up at the top, there is a little box that has three dots and says more. And if you click there, a little window will open up. And at the top of that window, it says chat. So just open that chat and that'll open a sidebar that will show you words. We'll have postings of certain prayers that we're singing and words to those, but also we can type in, those of us who are in the Zoom, and see one another's words appear in that chat bar. So I think with that, we're going to turn things to, I'm going to have Debbie, who is my Zoom guru, share with us a video that's been prepared by the San Francisco Night Ministry about the work they do.
Greetings, everybody. Shalom, Chag Sameach, Happy Hanukkah. My name is Reverend Trent Thornley. I'm the Executive Director of the San Francisco Night Ministry, and I'm here with Reverend Monique Ortiz, our Community Programs Director, who's out on the streets, as I understand it, and Rabbi Jeremy Shear, our Open Shabbat Program Manager, also out on the streets. And we at the Night Ministry are so blessed and honored and humbled to be with you all tonight in partnership with Congregation Ner Tamed and Or Shalom, Rabbis Shana and Katie. We've been working all together to create this wonderful event, this inaugural Open Hanukkah event for the community. And it's in keeping with the spirit of night ministry that we offer spiritual care and community to everyone, that it's available out on the streets. We're a presence on the streets to let folks know that this is a possibility, that spirituality and community is possible for everyone, open to everybody, no matter who they are or what they believe or where they're from, what condition they're in, that they are welcome to come and be in sacred space and sacred community with us. So that's the spirit of the night, this very special night where we'll be lighting the first Hanukkah candle out on the streets in this amazing partnership. The Night Ministry was actually founded in 1964. So we've been out on the streets and doing our ministry community chaplaincy for 57 years. It was actually 57 years on November 1st. And here's our first night minister, Reverend Don Stewart, and then a lineage of night ministers that followed him. And the way it was started was through a collection of Protestant churches that came together and formed a council of churches and wanted to do some kind of collective outreach. They had several programs, and the night ministry was one of them, an outreach of non-judgment and non-proselytizing. It was never about converting anybody or saving anybody, but simply being a loving presence on the streets. And so that's our DNA and our history. We have since grown into a multi-faith community, an interfaith community, and the Open Shabbat program and Open Hanukkah tonight is an extension of that. We've got several different areas of ministry and service. We do our nightly walks where night ministers go out on the streets of the city every night from 10 a.m. to 4 a.m. We also offer a nightly telephone care line. We offer a number of community programs, of which Open Shabbat is one of those programs. We also have a clinical pastoral education program, sometimes called CPE. This is the training of upcoming and emerging spiritual leaders, and it's an accredited training program. All of these four areas are supported by our media and operations. Here's our nightly walks. We're continuing to go out, have been all through the pandemic, taking appropriate precautions. Our night ministers wear whatever is appropriate for their religious tradition. The Christian ministers tend to wear collars. We've had others wear garments from their own tradition, so as we signify that we are a spiritual resource for people, that we're there and available. It actually helps us to build connection. Our telephone care line is being operated, as I said, by volunteers from home. We have volunteers in Ireland and Germany and Hawaii and New York and San Antonio and Chicago. It's really quite amazing now that everybody can work from home volunteering. So that's an opportunity. It's highly trained program. We have a clinical psychologist on staff, as well as somebody, Rob, our director, Caroline director, Rob Beal, with many years of experience in suicide prevention at the Suicide Prevention Hotline. We are there to help people connect to how they make meaning for themselves, how they get through difficult times, the present moment suffering that they may be experiencing, but also just the condition of being a human and knowing that we are all bound by this finite human experience and that there's something greater that can be accessed for all of us. And really, we're there to be in companionship and in fellowship with people and to co-create with people deeply and lovingly, receiving people's stories and offering solace as well as prayer, meditation, whatever is appropriate for them in their tradition. Here's our telephone number down here, 844-HOPE-4SF. And it's for everybody. It's not just for people in crisis. It's really for everybody and anybody. So please feel free to use the care line and pass it along to anyone you think that might be finding it useful. So give us a call. Our community programs, there's Reverend Monique Ortiz, who's our community programs director. We have the Open Cathedrals, which are twice a week Christian worship services. One is a bilingual service in the mission. Here we are blessing the new Lutheran bishop of the local or the area Sierra Pacific Synod. Here's our Faithful and Fabulous program. It's our LGBTQ outreach. Our Faithful and Fabulous minister, John Brett, doing a program on Gay Pride Weekend right there at Market in Castro. And then Open Shabbat. Here's Rabbi Jeremy, of course, and he is leading this inaugural Open Shabbat service, along with Rabbi Adam Briones, who was one of our night ministers, who has since retired from the night ministry, but has served for many, many years. And down here actually is George Altschuler, who was a CPE student, who was a training at the night ministry in the CPE program and participated. He's a rabbinical student, and he participated in that first Open Shabbat. We train the CPE students in the context of all of the areas, so that they'll go out on the night walks, they will do the phone line and answer the phones, and they'll do the community programs. And so they're learning ministry, they're learning spiritual care and connection, and building and shaping and forming themselves as spiritual leaders through that field work. And that's what CPE is all about. Finally, another program I want to mention in closing is the annual vigil, which is the service for the folks who have passed on the streets in the prior year. This is our vigil from 2020. We do it in partnership with a number of organizations: Faithful Fools, Coalition on Homelessness, Sojourn Chaplaincy at the General, and Sky Watchers. And we just read the names of everyone who's passed. It's a really moving and meaningful service. This is done out on the streets. You can find out information on our website about it. And you can attend in person, or you can stream that service and participate virtually. So that gives you a little bit of a sense of the night ministry. We are, again, so blessed and so grateful to be with you tonight, and just wish everybody a little bit more light into this world, a little bit more light into the darkest of our nights. And we can do that together. We can do that respectfully. We can do that lovingly. We can do that in community together as people who are each and are grounded in our own spirituality and tradition. And so thank you so much for participating with us. And I hope to make more of a connection with you soon. Shalom.
Well, I am so glad that worked. I hope everyone could hear and see that beautiful presentation from Reverend Trent. I am in the background texting with our friends over at 16.
And I'm Rabbi Shana Leon.
Okay, I think we are ready.
Rabbi Sammy Bard, visiting for a year from the chilly, frigid East Coast. It's good to be here.
Rabbi Dini, can you hear us?
We can hear you. We're good. And we're going to...
Wonderful. Happy Hanukkah. Rabbi Jeff.
Happy Hanukkah. We're turning things to you.
Happy Hanukkah, everybody. You know, It was a beautiful day today. It was nice and warm. The sun was out. And when the sun went down, that's when we start our holiday. In the Jewish calendar, the holidays start, the days start in the evening. So we had a nice warm day to enjoy. And now we go into the holiday of Hanukkah. It's a holiday that celebrates light in the darkness. It's a holiday that celebrates a small group of people prevailing against a huge army. So, you know, overcoming odds and keeping with it and, you know, finding a way to make it in the face of a lot of opposition. You know, it's a holiday that celebrates a miracle where they didn't have enough oil and to burn the beautiful candles. And miraculously, the oil that they had lasted 8 days. So that's why we celebrate for 8 days. So it's the miracle of when you don't have enough and somehow you kind of make it through, right? Don't know how that happened, but somehow we're all still here. You know, people often find that they don't have enough of whatever that might be, but we have made it to this point. So it's a holiday that celebrates that. Just one of my favorite holidays. And I really want to welcome everybody. Just say again how glad I am to see all of you. And I'm so glad that I'm with Rabbi Sammy and Rabbi Shana. And let me turn it over to Rabbi Shana to bring us into the holiday.
One of the best parts about Hanukkah, not on.
It is.
There you go.
One of the best parts of Hanukkah is the music. Some of us have memories from childhood, or this may be brand new. And many of you have a song sheet. I'm going to invite you to raise your voices and lift our spirits together here at the corner of 16th and Mission. This is a song that comes from the African tradition. The words are Sia Hamba Kukanyen Kwenkos. And in English, we are walking by the light of God. Sia Hamba Kukanyen Kwenkos. Sia Hamba Kukanyen Kwenkos. Sia Hamba Kukanyen Kwenkos. Sia Hamba Kukanyen Kwenkos. That's all. Sia Hamba. Sia Hamba. Sia Hamba Kukanyen Kwenkos. Sia Hamba. Sia Hamba. Sia Hamba Kukanyen Kwenkos. Sia Hamba. Try it. Kukanyen Kwenkos. Sia Hamba Kukanyen Kwenkos. Sia Hamba Kukanyen Kwenkos. Sia Hamba Kukanyen Kwenkos. Sia Hamba. Sia Hamba. Sia Hamba Kukanyen Kwenkos. Sia Hamba. Sia Hamba. Sia Hamba Kukanyen Kwenkos. Now, what's beautiful about this holiday is it's all about the light. So go ahead and try that in English with me. Same melody. We are walking in the light of God. 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 We are walking, walking, we are walking, walking, we are walking in the light of God. We are walking, walking, we are walking, walking, we are walking in the light of God. Yeah. We are walking in the light of God. 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 We are walking, walking, we are walking, walking, we are walking in the light of God. We are walking, walking, we are walking, walking, we are walking in the light of God. Sia Hannukah Kwenkos. Sia Hannukah Kwenkos. Sia Hannukah Kwenkos. Sia Hannukah Kwenkos. Sia Hama, Sia Hannukah Kwenkos. Sia Hama, Hannukah Kwenkos. One more time, we are walking. We are walking in the light of God. 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 We are walking, we are walking, we are walking in the light of God. One time. We are walking, we are walking, we are walking in the light of God. This is all about light, and it is just about time to light our Hannukah. This extraordinary Hannukah has never been lit before. It was made specially for this evening by Margot Freistad, and I think we owe her a spectacular applause. This is just so beautiful, amazing to see a dream that we had as a community come to fruition with this gorgeous piece. Thank you, Margot. Let's do one more just little song before we light up this Hannukah. This one's a little more of a prayer. I'm going to ask for, Rabbi Sammy, would you do me a favor and be my spontaneous music stand? Yes, thank you. So this one's also on your sock sheets. Big part is going to be that second part. Let us light these lights. Just like this. Oh, hear my prayer. I sing to you. Be gracious to the ones I love, and bless them with goodness and mercy and peace. Oh, hear my prayer to you. Let us light these lights. Give it a try if you don't know it. Let us light these lights and see the way to you. And let us say, Amen. That's all. Let us light these lights and see the way to you. And let us say, Amen. Let me just repeat a few times. Let us light these lights. Let us light these lights. Sing it out. And see the way to you. And let us say, Amen. Let us light these lights and see the way to you. And let us say, Amen. One more time, let us light. Let us light these lights and see the way to you. And let us say, Amen. Let us light these lights and see the way to you. And let us say, Amen. So that does mean that it's time to light some lights. And it's not just that we light candles, it's that every time we come together, we're reminded how precious and how alive and warm and beautiful is each light of the soul that gathers when we do this kind of gathering or any other kind of gathering where the Spirit is present. So if you are at home and getting ready to light your Hannukah. We'll invite everyone at home to get ready. And Margot, if you would go ahead and light that shamash candle. That's our helper candle. And we're going to say 3 blessings. Because it's the first night of Hanukkah, we do 3 blessings. The first reminds us that this ritual we take on as though it were a commandment, all the way from Mount Sinai itself, even though it's a little more recent than that, but we celebrate this ritual experience of lighting the lights of Hanukkah. The second blessing celebrates the miracles, the wondrous deeds that our Creator does for us every single day with the gift of life. And we celebrate at this season of miracles and light, the miracles that happened long ago and that still take place each and every day. And then because it's the first night of Hanukkah, we have our extra blessing that quite literally says we are grateful to the Holy One of Blessing who has kept us alive, sustained us, and brought us to this special season. We'll start all the way here at the end and sing together. You have them on the back of your song sheet. And we'll do Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Hannukah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa nisim la'avoteinu bayamim hahem b'zman hazeh. First night only. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'eheyanu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu la'zman hazeh. Hannukah Sameach.
Hannukah Sameach means happy Hanukkah. So happy Hanukkah to everybody. We've officially brought in the holiday. And now I have a question for you, all of my friends here at 16th and Mission. I wonder, I mentioned before that Hanukkah celebrates all kinds of miracles that happen in our lives. The miracle of making it this far, even when we don't have enough. The miracle of prevailing against a difficult foe, a difficult adversary. The miracle of just the light in the darkness. And, the greatest antidote to darkness is light. And I wonder if anybody has a story of miracle that you'd like to share. I can come by you and share my microphone so you can be heard. Anybody have a story that may be something that happened in your life? Yes, ma'am. Let me come over and share this mic with you and we'll hear your story.
Well, when I was growing up, I didn't live with my parents. I lived in an orphanage. And when I got to see my parents, I always wanted to kiss my mother on the mouth. And she says, little girls don't do that. That's not nice. So in 1993, she died in the hospital. She fell down on the ground. That's how she died. And I was the only one there. My brother didn't come to see her. And I was the only one there in the room when she died. And I took the mouthpiece off her mouth and I put her in my arms like this. And I kissed her as hard as I could in her mouth.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing. I'm glad you had a moment of love with your mother and in such a difficult time. You really shown the light of love there. So thank you so much for sharing that story. Yes, ma'am, please.
Hi, I'm Diane. My story of miracles goes back to before I was born. I was conceived in one state and born in another because there was a hurricane. My parents, my mother was ready to give birth to me, and they were in the sub basement. There was my brother was a year and 3 months old. I had two older half brothers, 15 and 20 or something like that. And there was no chance for us to get out. The whole city was gone. And of course, our house was gone. Everything was gone. So my father, of course, we went to the sub basement. That's how we saved their life. But my father had to dig out. So the American Red Cross was there, and they gave us a car because there was nothing. The whole city was gone. It's a big city in the United States, and we had to get on the road. So they were driving as hard and fast as they could, I'm sure, because my mother was ready to give birth to me. And I can just see my mother yelling at my father, I don't care which hospital to come on, get there to the hospital she's being born. And they barely made it to the hospital. So I was born homeless. I became homeless when I was 19. Our house burnt. I was at Bible school, and it was really sad. It took them till I was 10 years old to have enough money to build another house. I mean, we weren't homeless. We were homeless when I was born, you know, but later we had rented a house or whatever, but they built a house, and then that burned. And then in October 11, 85, there was an accident with brain damage, and I was homeless. So I'm not supposed to be here from the brain damage. And I've lived 36 years beyond, and I'm in my 70s.
Oh, okay, Diane, thank you for sharing that. You've really lived a lot of the Hanukkah miracles. You know, you've prevailed against that brain damage. You know, you had so many times in your life when you didn't have enough, and somehow it stretched, and you're still here, and now you're in your 70s, and you're here to tell these stories. Just wonderful. Those are some Hanukkah miracles. Yeah. Yes, Marquise. Yes, please.
I'm Marquise, and years ago I had meningitis, and God miraculously made it to where I'm here today. I had over 150 spinal taps over a course of 5 months, and was stuck in bed for most of that time, not able to get out. I ended up staying at the hospital a year and a half before God put me in housing and changed my life, you know. So, and I was at my worstest point, you know. I was on the streets before, and I questioned so much about being alive and being there and being in need, and my need, and where I was supposed to be. And God just miraculously made it to where I'm standing to you here today. They said that I'll never walk. They said I'll be confined to a wheelchair and that I'll have nerve damage. But God brought me back. And it's only by his grace that I'm here today.
Thank you, Marquise. Yeah, so many miracles. You know, I want all of my friends who are here and all of my friends who are on Zoom to listen to the wisdom of the folks who are sharing, because they've really lived through it. And the Jews in ancient times in the Hanukkah story really lived through it too. So if you're wondering what that's like, listen to the wisdom of the folks who are sharing here at 16th and Mission. Anybody else like to share a story of miracle in your life? We've had some really good stories. Is there anyone else? One more? All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for celebrating with us. And I'll turn it back over to Rabbi Rabbi Sammy. Oh, you got your mic. Wonderful. Okay, Rabbi Sammy.
Which one? Is this on?
No.
Is that
Add on.
Yes.
Okay. Looking around here, if you look at the name of the bank and all of the signs, those lights are really solid. They're not flickering. They're strong. They're still going to be just the same way 6 hours, 12 hours from now. Look at these candles. They're flickering. They don't look so strong. I'm going to tell you one verse from the Bible. It says, the human soul is the candle of God. And our souls, we flicker a little bit, just like that. We don't look like the bank sign. We don't look like the restaurant sign. We don't look like the headlights on the taxi cabs. But it's in that weakness. It's in that flickering. It's even in the dark place, right in the middle of the flame. That's what makes us people. It's how we know each person. You look at a person, you look in a person's face, you look in their eyes, and you see something that is deeper even in the darkness. That's what makes us created in the image of God. We, our souls, are the candles of God. And when we strike up a light in our soul, we're lighting up God's candle. And the more of our souls that come alive, the more I believe God looks at this world and sees the human candles, which makes this world more beautiful than anything.
Right.
There's another expression that we use this time of year, and it's Nes Gadol Haya Sham. That's 4 little Hebrew words that mean a great miracle happened there. And usually when we talk about that great miracle, we're talking about the miracle of the military victory and the small 1 day's worth of oil that somehow we managed to stretch for 8 days and celebrate the survival of the spirit through all these long centuries of darkness. And those are the letters, the first letter of each of those words, a nun, a gimel, a hey, and a shin, that's found on that little spinning top that's associated with Hannukah, the little dreidel or sivivon that turns and spins. And it's a game that's played at Hannukah, and it's fun, and it's light, and it's joy, and it can be played by all ages, but there's something really important about those letters, because every time we celebrate that a miracle happened somewhere else, we're actually celebrating that it's happening here as well. So I want to imagine that we're far away and spinning a dreidel that has slightly different letters on it. In Israel, the letters on the dreidel say Nun Gimel Hey Pei. There it's just a touch different. It says a great miracle happened here. Nes Gadol Haya Po. But I think that given everything that went into putting this evening together, the technology alone is a great miracle. That's a Nes Gadol. But the fact that we have this Hannukah, that we have our friends here, that we have such beautiful stories of miracles, I think we can say together, if you will, with me, let's say it. Nes Gadol Haya Po.
Oh.
Great miracle has happened here this night. And I want to thank my friends and new friends, old friends who have made this evening possible, especially the San Francisco Night Ministry for your amazing, miraculous new friendship to us. And we are just beyond grateful. So let's do it one more time. Nes Gadol Haya Po. Great miracle has happened here tonight. And what we celebrate really about that miracle is the triumph of the Spirit. Now, I couldn't get everything right. Clearly, I forgot my amplifier. So I'm not going to even pretend to play this last song. But instead, let's just use our voices and just raise a big noise. If you've got your song sheet there, you're going to see these verses from the prophet Zechariah. This is chapter 4, verse 6, where he said, not by might and not by power, but by spirit alone. That is the path to peace. And Debbie Friedman of blessed memory added some of her own words to this to create a vision of a world where children could dream and sing. And even though there will be difficult and dark times, we are going to join our voices together so that another song can rise. So this one is most important because you've got to clap your hands for it. And it's Debbie made no secret of the fact that this sequence of clapping is the I Want to Be in America, which is perfect because West Side Story is coming out again soon. It's all in the news. So we can get in the mood for that. And thank Stephen Sondheim and remember him for his amazing lyrics. But the clapping part of this song goes exactly like that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, whether you're wearing a mask or not, your hands can make a big noise. So we need everybody to clap together. Try it a couple times. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Not by might and not by power, but by spirit alone shall we all live in peace. Again, not by might and not by power, but by spirit alone shall we all live in peace. Get your hands ready. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The children sing, the children dream, and their tears may fall, but we'll hear them call, and another song will rise. What? Another song will rise louder, and another song will rise. 1, 2, 3, not by might and not by power, but by spirit alone shall we all live in peace. One more time, please. Not by might and not by power, but by spirit alone shall we all live in peace. Not by might, not by might, not by power, not by power. Shalom.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Rabbi Shana. Thank you, Rabbi Sammy. Thank you, Rabbi Katie on Zoom. Everybody who's with us on Zoom tonight. Thank you, everybody who's with us here. Thank you for your miracles. Thank you for your presence. And we're gonna go ahead and have dinner. So how do we do that? Okay, so if everybody who'd like a meal could just remain right where you are, just stay put, and we'll take the food to you. Oh, yeah. Well, first of all, I'd also like to thank my good friend, Reverend Monique, who's helped so much with organizing this, and we wouldn't know what to do without you. Thank you so much. And I just want to thank all the folks who labored in the kitchen in the synagogue making the meals. Thank you to our volunteers. Your work makes such a difference. These meals are needed. Everybody appreciates them. Thank you for doing that.
We are walking in the light of God. We are walking, we are walking, we are walking in the light of God. We are walking in the light of God. We are walking in the light of God.
Rabbi Katie. Hanukkah Sameach, everyone. Please stay well and safe.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Hanukkah.
Hannukah Sameach.
Hanukkah.
All right, so everyone, we are, what a heartwarming experience to Zoom into 16th and Mission and be a part of that gathering. And thank you all for being here. We're going to sing, those of us who are on Zoom, we are going to sing one more song together. And I do encourage, so I put the words in the chat so you can see them there. We're going to sing Mautzor, and you can probably see if you're looking at gallery view that they're still bustling around on the street. They're eating meals that the Southside Jewish Collaborative put together this afternoon, and boy, was it a production to figure out the logistics of that. It was amazing how many minds had to work so hard to figure it out. I did not prepare a link to put in the chat for you to donate to the San Francisco Night Ministry, but I know that for our family, at least one of the 8 nights of Hanukkah is a night where we don't just give each other gifts, but we really give back to the world and dedicate at least one of the 8 nights to giving tzedakah. And especially in our time, which is a time of so much suffering and so much need, I encourage you to do that, whether that's to the San Francisco Night Ministry or some other worthy organization. I hope that you can dedicate at least one of your 8 nights of Hanukkah to giving to those who are in need. So let's sing together. And again, those words to Mautzor are in the chat. If you just scroll up a bit, you'll see them. And I'm going to turn my camera so that you can see my Hannukah over there. A little blurry, but hopefully visible. And you can sing along with me if you know the words. Mautzor Yeshuati Lecha Na'eh Leshabeach Tikun Betefilati Vesham Toda Nezabeach Letachin Matbeach Mitzaham Nabeach Az Egmor Beshir Mizmor Hannukah Tamizbeach Az Egmor Beshir Mizmor Hannukah Tamizbeach. Rock of Ages, let our song praise thy saving power. Thou amidst the raging foes was our sheltering tower. Furious they assailed us, but thine arm availed us, and thy word broke their sword when our own strength failed us, and thy word broke their sword when our own strength failed us. And Hannukah Sameach, everybody, and thank you. Debbie has posted a link in the chat for how to give to the San Francisco Night Ministry. So thank you all for being here. Hannukah Sameach. I hope everybody has a holiday filled with light, filled with hope, filled with inspiration, and may all of us remember that we are the light of God in the world, that all of us are illuminating the people that we shine upon, and tonight has been an opportunity to see that. I invite you to actually just take one moment and look at the gallery view. If you know how to do that, you can toggle to that. And let's just take a moment to look at our collection of candles of God's candles that we are here on the Zoom screen, and let's just flicker our candles at each other for a moment as a gesture of goodbye. So thank you everybody for being here. Thank you to all those who helped behind the scenes with the tech and the meal making and all the other components that brought this collaboration together. And hope to see everyone soon at various Hanukkah events in our communities. Chag Sameach, and thank you. We'll post this video to at least to Or Shalom's YouTube channel, if not other congregational YouTube channels soon, so that you can spread this light. And have a good, safe evening, everybody. Stay healthy, stay well, and remember that you are a light. You are a light. And all these smiles here really are spreading joy. So happy holiday to everybody, and stay well, stay healthy. Laila Tov, Chag Sameach.